Yippee! It's day 2. Are you reading comments and
Hello.
giggling?
I'm laughing. Somebody says, "Shh, I'm watching from work."
I always love that.
I know. That's a good one.
Yeah, we won't tell. It's okay.
Mhm.
So I'm seeing a lot of dreary weather everywhere in the comments too, which we kind of have. What about you, Linda? It looks nice in your little window back there.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy. We had some rain yesterday, which was nice. I got my Mother's Day flowers out, so they got a
Yeah,
little bit of water. So that was good.
that is good. And I see someone else. I saw a second work watcher. So we should make the giveaway one day like work watching or something. It's like
That
our
would be good.
keyword. So hello and welcome to day 2. We had so much fun yesterday. And usually when we do day one, we reveal the design, right? And
Mhm.
this time, you guys still don't know what it looks like. In fact, I think next year, Linda, I don't want to know what it looks like. Next year,
Really?
next year, I want to be in their shoes a little bit
I
because I
wonder
really
if we
know.
could do that. Do you think we could actually get away with that? You do the marketing. How are you gonna do the marketing?
Well, I don't share pictures for this one.
True. Okay, you're on.
It'll be so hard though because I know I can just go peek around the corner. Cynthia. Cynthia said someone beat her to the last fall kit. So she did spring and summer
Oh.
instead. That's still really, really beautiful. So today, why don't you tell them what we're going to do today? But before we actually dive into it, I do want to share a couple of things.
Okay. Am I telling them what we're doing?
Yeah, I see another work
Okay.
watcher.
So today I'm going to trim up the 2 blocks we stitched yesterday. I'm going to talk about how to put it together. I'll give you a little more close-up detail of the sample that I have laying there. And then I'll stitch our sample together and we'll talk very quickly on how to put a back on it. So that's pretty much what we'll do.
Okay. That sounds great. And
Mhm.
as we are watching Linda do this, we really wanted to show this bonus because number one, the bonus is phenomenal. It's a much greater bonus than a typical new design promotion. So lots of blocks in there. That's something that we're going to tell you how to access today, but it's something that you can start now before the mystery quilt even begins. So you
Mhm.
can get busy with that. Um, and we'll talk about kits in a minute. I see questions about kits. But I think that what's so cool about this is where Linda's basically showed you yesterday how to stitch it out. And the technique is going to be exactly the same for the mystery quilt.
Not exactly, but very
Well,
close.
hoop your battleizer, right? Hoop your
That, yeah, the first 3 steps are pretty much always the same.
right.
After
And
that,
then it's the design portion kicks in, but the
right, right.
process isn't going to be much different than hoop your battleizer, do a placement stitch, place your fabric and things like that. So
Mhm.
if you are at all wondering if you can do this, hopefully what you're seeing today and yesterday will give you the confidence to give it a try. Okay. All right. So before Linda dives into the meat and potatoes of our day, I wanted to share again with you that we love to support the local quilt shops, and these particular local quilt shops have told us we are going to be marketing the mystery quilt, and they have their special affiliate links. So they get special little treasures and rewards just for you using their link. So I highly encourage you, if you are a customer of theirs or even just kind of in their neck of the woods, but maybe never went to their store, now's a really great time to just get in touch with them and say, hey, I want to do that Hoop Sisters mystery quote. Where's your link? How do I do this? And they'll link you right up to Hoop Sisters, but they'll get little credit. Okay. So that would be Yankee Quilter in Seymour, Connecticut. We have Quilter's Yard in Junction City, Kansas. We have Calico Cats Sewing in Lake Jackson, Texas. So Crazy in Columbus, Indiana. Sewing Concepts in Woodstock, Illinois. The Quilted Nest in Collingswood, New Jersey. We also have Snip and Stitch Sewing Center in British Columbia, Canada. We have 2 others in Canada as well, and that would be Heather Bell's Sewing Studio in Ontario, and Cherished Pieces is also in Ontario. So, and we also have A&A White Sewing Center in Holiday, Florida, and Ray Bond Sew and Quilt in Fargo, North Dakota. I love that movie, by the way. Have you seen Fargo?
Yes, funny. So Ray-Ban, do you remember they popped in my store in Woodstock
Yes.
during the H&H show? So that was
Yeah.
kind of fun. We passed each other in the hallway and we both went, "She looks familiar. She looks familiar." And then I realized after she was gone who was there. So
Yep. Just went
that was
about
kind
your
of
day and
fun.
was like, it clicked. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. So all of these shops are participating. If you want to get in touch with them, they will help you get your order placed. You will still access files the same way as everyone else and all that good stuff. So we just wanted to share their names and share some love. And Speaking, someone said that's their favorite movie, and it kind of reminds me of Woodstock. You have a famous movie.
Yep, Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day was filmed
Groundhog Day.
with
Yeah, and
what's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking?
it'll come to me. That goofy guy. Anyway, our store door was in the movie.
Yes, but
And
it wasn't your.
it was where we used to be. We're not there anymore. But yeah, it said copies 5 cents on the door, and he kept going out of that every day. So that was
Bill
fun.
Murray.
Bill Murray, that's it.
Thanks, Danny. So, anyways, famous movies from these places too. We got a lot of Bill Murrays in the. Yes, that's a great movie too. So, okay, so we got sidetracked. Squirrel. But go support these local quilt shops if you're near them at all. If you're not, it's okay. Don't worry. You can order the mystery quilt from Hoop Sisters, and I will ask Miss Nina Gladden to drop the link to order in the comments for us. So, who was not here yesterday? Anybody not here yesterday? Maybe like wave or say hi in the comments. If you weren't here yesterday, I just want to be very clear that by the end of this week, where we talk all about mystery quilt, you're still not going to know what it looks like. It's a mystery, but each week for 5 weeks, we're going to drop a little bit more and a little bit more into your online account, which we will show you how to access on Thursday. We'll drop a little bit more, and then finally you'll know what the final layout looks like. So it's a lot of fun. I see some highs. Okay, so if you weren't here yesterday, glad you're joining us right now to learn more about what this mystery quilt is. Pre-ordering began yesterday, which I can't believe it's already time for this. We do this once a year. It's so fun. But Wednesday, May 29th, is when the first set of your mystery quilt files will be dropped into your account, and we will come live, do a reveal of week 1, and Linda will show you how to make the week 1. So just know if you're ordering now, you are pre-ordering, okay? And then we'll see as the weeks progress more and more in your account. So here's what I would love to know. You guys blew our minds yesterday. You guys are super excited about this mystery quilt. So who on here decided yesterday that they were going to become a mystery quilter this year? If that's you, drop a me in the comments. There's Gail's on it. She's a mystery quilter. So I'd love to see those me's dropping in the comments. Look at this. Look at this. They're all ready. They are ready. I love it. And so at this point, keep the me's coming, but we're going to turn it over to Linda, and Linda's going to take it away for today, because one of the biggest things, Linda, as you know, is how do I pick fabric, which we talked about yesterday, and we're going to talk again about Wednesday. But the second thing is, okay, if I've never done this before, how do I put it together? I have these blocks, now what?
Right. So that's what we're going to do today, is put it together. So let me bring this camera up. So what you're looking at right here is my sample of the bonus block. So isn't that pretty, the close-up picture of it with the quilting? So we basically have 4 blocks. This block is just a simple one piece of fabric. This one is one that we demoed yesterday, and then we have the mirror image of it, so that's the same. And the other one we demoed yesterday was the center block. So that's just a close-up, and we'll talk a little bit about the back later. So these are the 2 blocks that we stitched. And in your bonus instructions, on the last couple of pages, we have trimming instructions. And we recommend that you label your blocks as you get them out of the hoop. So this block is an FP, for example. This one's an FC. So label them at the top so you know which way they came out of the hoop. And then this is your layout. So then you lay it all out, making sure everything is going in the proper direction. For example, this background block, this corner block here, the stitching is at an angle in each corner. So you just got to watch the orientation. So then the next thing we need to do is trim them up. So the center block, I trim all 4 sides, completely removing the battleizer. And I'm going to use the Trimmer by George 3.0 to do that. And if you've not seen it, it's a clear acrylic ruler. It's about 4.5 inches wide, 12 inches long. and it's got a metal lip on the back of it. You can see that metal lip right here. And this protects me from cutting my fabric, because the way we need to trim these is we need to pull back the fabric on the front of the block, and we need to cut off all the battleizer, because we do not want this to be, a lot of this, caught in our seam. So we pull this back, we lay the trimmer with the metal side down, and we kind of give it a, what I like to say, a shimmy, and just push it up to that outside basting stitch. And then you give it just a small little tug, and you check over here to be sure we have no fabric sticking out. Then we want to use a 60mm rotary cutter. The reason we want the 60 is because it's tall enough so that this little screw here doesn't touch the top of the trimmer. If you use a smaller rotary cutter, you generally have to put it at an angle, which could cause you to cut your fabric. And it could also dull your blade because you're pushing it up against the metal. So then I will just cut this off, completely remove the battleizer, and I'm just left with the fabric. So this is my center block. I'm going to do all 4 sides using the trimmer. No fabric coming out. Give it a little tug. And if you like to conserve battleizer, you can save your bigger scraps and you could stitch them together. We call it Frankenbat, where you butt the cut edges together and zigzag them, and then you can actually use it again. So here's one block completely trimmed. Here's the top of it. The back of it will look like that, where I have all the battleizer removed. So depending on the color of your fabric, I'm going to trim my front fabric with the right side down, because I can very easily see my cut edge here. So on the trimmer, there's a 1/4 inch line. So we'll turn the trimmer over with the metal side on the left, and we'll put our 1/4 inch right on the edge of the battleizer and trim off your extra fabric. Make it look nice and pretty and neat. So there's my center block. So that's completely ready to go. The next block is actually a block. My FP block actually goes on the edge of the quilt. And if you look at our instructions, we have a red area around the very edge of the quilt. All the blocks with a red line is where the binding is going to go. So I have to make sure that I don't trim away my battleizer there. So this is my FP block. Here's that top side. So this side, I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch from the outside basting stitch through the battleizer and the fabric, so that on this one, I'm going to have enough battleizer within my batting. The other 2 sides, or the other 3 sides, actually get completely trimmed off. The battleizer gets removed. So I'll do the same process. On the other 3 sides. So this is what the front of it looks like. This is what the back of it looks like. This is the edge I left the battleizer in the seam allowance, and I will trim the other 3 edges, leaving the 1/4 inch. So these are my 2 blocks. So they will get sewn together just like that.
Awesome. Okay, I have a question about Frankenbat.
Okay.
What type of thread should Patsy use to make her Frankenbat? She's asking if she should use water soluble.
I don't use water soluble. You know what I use? I save up, you know how you have just a little bit of thread on your old bobbins? I might just use those in the bobbin. I'll just use whatever's on my machine. I generally try to match my batting so that if I'm using a white fabric and the thread shows through, I don't see a dark thread. So I generally will use a white or a cream, but I'll just use whatever thread I've got. If I have a little leftover embroidery thread, or I use quite a bit of Aurifil, so I'll use that. Hopefully that answers your question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this, trying to get my bearings. Okay, so this is a finished quarter of my quilt. This one I've already sewn together. And then this one is going to go like this and like this. No, like this. There we go. I want to do it right. I don't want to do it wrong on live.
Right?
So it will look just like this one. So this is half. Okay, so now to sew these together, these two right here, we're going to place them right sides together. I'm going to put a pin right at the corner. Make sure it comes out right at my basting stitch where my water soluble thread is. Put the pin through to the other block right at the basting stitch. And then take a second pin and put it in and take out the first. So we'll do the same with this one. So I have a pin on both corners. That's usually where I start. And then sometimes there's match points that you need to catch inside the seam here. On these two blocks, there really isn't. We just have to line up the basting stitch, which is that last water soluble stitch that we did yesterday. So I'll put a pin through to that basting stitch and then directly into the one next to it, pinch it, and remove the first pin. So this is ready to sew. So if you want to talk a little bit, Aubrey, I will go and stitch this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so while she's just sewing the seams together, I did want to revisit sort of the class schedule, the file distribution schedule. So again, it's a pre-order, but on May 29th, which is the Wednesday after next, I can't even believe it, we are going to put the week 1 set of design files and instructions in your account. And then you'll be able to access them, download them, and get started, which is going to be great. We like to get those in there by 10 a.m. Eastern. So give us that amount of time to get your weekly files in. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and so on, we will come live. We'll show a reveal of those weekly files, and we will kind of do a little stitch out to help answer, how do we do this? How do we put this together? So we're going to really walk you through it each week for 5 whole weeks until we get to the final reveal, which will happen on June 26th. So Linda, are you ready over there at your demo cam again?
I think so.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so I've got that seam stitched together, and you can see when I open it up, I can see just a tiny bit of my water soluble thread here, but don't worry, it's water soluble thread. It'll go away if you just put a little bit of water on it or wash the whole thing when it's completely done. So now I need to press this seam. So the seam above it is actually going this direction. So I'm going to take this seam and go that direction. I try to oppose them all. And I do like to use my strip stick. This is just it. We sell these. This is a little rounded edge on this side and a flat edge on this side. The flat edge goes on the ironing board, and the rounded edge is what you press on. And when you use this, you won't smash your quilt, which works out really well. And of course, my iron's not hot yet, so give that a second. And I do also like to do just a little squirt of starch. I use the Mary Ellen's Best Press, which I know a lot of you use. So I'm going to press this seam in the opposing direction from this block here. So then this will get sewn together like this.
Krista's asking again, what is that called? I think she's talking about your strip stick.
Hello, Krista. I know her. This is called a strip stick. So I think it's, how long is this one? 18 inches, maybe 18 inches long. And it's rounded on one side so that when I put my fabric on it and put my iron on it, it doesn't completely smash your batting. And I press it. The flat side goes on the ironing board and the rounded side goes up. Okay. Let me give the right side a little bit more. Okay, so now these two will get sewn together. So I'll put them right sides together, and you can see my seams are opposing each other. And I'll just continue with that same method of putting a pin in right at the seam line. Pinch it, put in a second one. Then I do the end. Give it a pinch. And then I'll do two in the middle just to line up my seam lines. Okay, so this is all pinned. In case I didn't mention it before, I'm actually stitching. I'm starting right here. I'm lowering my needle right at that corner. I'm doing a couple of back stitches, and then I'm stitching along with my needle just to the left of that basting line, or right on that basting line. And I'll stitch all the way across. I've got my seams opposing, and when I get to this end, I will stitch a little bit into the seam allowance and do a couple of back stitches, and then it's finished, and then I can press it.
Perfect.
Okay, Aubrey, I'm going to go
answered a
stitch that.
question I saw, so that works out good.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk again about what's included. So the fabric and thread key is available right now. It's within the mystery quilt files themselves. So if you've ordered, you can, you're going to have access to that in there. And then we also did post the fabric and thread key in our VIP Facebook group. So you can go there and check out the guides tab. It's within there in the Mystery Quilt 2024. So you can find that there. If you're having trouble finding it, you can always reach out to us as well, and we will help get you taken care of. And then what else is included, that will help you with fabric shopping, by the way. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. But we also include 5 sets of weekly files and step-by-step instructions. You will get both block sizes. So you'll get the 8-inch and the 6-inch block sizes. And it's multi-formatted, so it doesn't matter what embroidery machine brand you love, you can participate. And then we'll also do those weekly live reveals and instructions. And we announced yesterday too that we will have an optional backing which is the edge-to-edge quilting files, which Linda did with the barn quilt, and everybody seemed to really love that. So you'll be able to make some backing decisions, but that's all included in there. Okay, back to you, Linda.
Okay, so here's my finished seam. So I'm going to be sewing these two together, but before that I want to press. So this seam is going up, so I'm going to have this seam go down. So I'll just put my little strip stick on there and press the seam in the opposing direction. Give it a little squirt of good old Mary Ellen's Best Press. I cannot believe how much that stuff makes the fabric lay down. We do get a lot of questions about, should I press my seams open? I find it very difficult to press these open because of that tiny little bit of battleizer in there, and they're more bulkier if you try to do that. So pressing them to one side works very well. Okay, so now we're ready to sew these two together right here. So do that same pinning method.
Someone asked earlier if we have if we sell the pattern for your pincushion, and we do.
We do. I love my pincushion. It even has, the pattern even has a little wrist pincushion to match.
That's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
I think it's called Sewing Retreat. Is that right?
Maybe.
I can't remember that. We have too many designs now, Linda.
I know. I like to separate my pins according to what I use them for. So these are my heavier duty pins for when I'm doing this. These are my really lightweight pins for if I'm just piecing a regular quilt. So you don't want to mix your pins up because they all have their own use. I'll continue with that same method of putting a pin through, matching my seam line, pinching it, and putting a second one in, removing the first. So lather, rinse, and repeat.
Gwen says she thinks you've done this a few times because you're pretty quick.
Couple times.
Couple times.
So this one actually has a seam that I'm going to try to match. You can see this seam right here. So I'm going to take a little bit more care, make sure that that pin comes right in where that green and blue come together, and goes right back out here. Pinch that one really good. Okay, so those are pinned. I'm going to go stitch those and be back.
Okie doke. Well, she is gone. We're going to keep on rolling. I have seen a couple people wondering about the fabric kits, saying they couldn't find them online, and we sold out of them. We actually had quite a few more than the last time we did kits, and we still sold out really, really quickly. So the fabric kits are gone, but don't let that freak you out. We are going to come live tomorrow, and it's all about picking fabrics. Tips for picking fabrics, how many fabrics you're going to need. We're going to look at the fabric and thread piece. So just know that tomorrow we will talk more on fabric. So I also have seen the question. I've seen the question about, can we order this later? And Linda, I muted you, so my apologies because you were sewing and I could hear it. So can you get this later was a question that we received. I saw in the comments. And will the price go up? So I want to talk about that just real quick before I turn you back over to Linda. So right now we do have limited time pricing. We have this bundle bonus. Linda's actually stitching just the bonus right now. So this isn't even the mystery quilt that she's stitching. It's just the bonus. So if you want the best pricing possible and you want this bonus, this week is when you're going to have to make that decision, okay? So if you add any 2 of the 3 now instead of 4 products to your cart, you will receive 10% off, and the bonus, which is valued at $45, will pop into your account automatically for free. So that just means, oh, Linda, you must have done that. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, here, let me unmute you.
Later.
Okay. So you grab the design and then pick which size battleizer you want. We do recommend the 15. If you don't have any battleizer, you're going to use it. And then you'll get 10% off both of those products plus the bonus for free. Okay. So, Linda, do you want to answer that question?
Sure.
Okay.
I got to remember where it is. Okay. I forget which question it was.
Well, can we add blocks to make it larger was the one that popped up on screen.
Oh, absolutely you can. When you see the final design, you will see how simple that will be to make it bigger. Sometimes our quilts you can't because for various reasons. This one you can. I can't say too much without revealing it, but this one will be very easy to make bigger.
Okay, well, that's good news. All right. Do you want the camera back? Are you ready, or you want me to keep going? Okay,
Sure.
there you
I have
go.
one more seam to go. So this was my finished one that I had already done. So this one, the center seam is actually pressed that direction. So this seam, I'm going to press it this direction, again, opposing. And then I'll do that same pinning technique that I've shown all morning or all day today. Okay. So I'm going to get these two pinned together and stitched, and then Aubrey can talk a little bit more, and then I'll talk about the back.
All right.
So I'm matching up my center first because I want to be sure that that looks good right dead center. And then I will match again this seam right here between this blue and green. And then as I go on, I'll match the seams. And then the ends. So I think this makes one big pretty block. I don't see why you couldn't make several of these and make just a whole quilt out of it for sure. And on this side, I'll do the seam again. And the ends. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch the seam, and I'll be back and give it a press, and we'll talk about the back.
All right. So let's jump back over here. And if you are in Canada, I've seen some Canadians asking the question, As long as you have $127.99 in your cart, the bonus will pop in there. So even if you just get downloads of something, but that's the price point. So $33.99 on top of mystery quilt. And so again, the kits are sold out, which is crazy, but we do still have a free gift available. And we've never ever done this before. And I'm sure Nina can remind me in the comments. I think it's like 25 and some change for our hoop scissors mini. And this is, again, while supplies last, this week only. When your cart reaches $149, we're throwing in a free gift that's valued at $25 plus dollars. So this is an amazing opportunity to get your hands on our hoop scissors mini, which is phenomenal for trimming while you are making your quilt blocks in the hoop. So this one is super exciting. I know you guys were very, very excited about this yesterday as well. And this is still in effect. So while the fabric kits might be gone or are gone, you can still get the hoop scissors mini. It's valued at $25. You can get it for free when your cart reaches $149. Okay. All right. The other thing that we still have going on is free shipping within the contiguous US this week only. When your orders reach $199 or more, we're going to ship it free. And guys, shipping is not cheap. We know, we understand, especially when it's bolts of Battleizer and things like that. So this is a great opportunity to get your hands on some free shipping and the scissors. Okay. All right. You ready, Linda? I'm turning it back.
Sure. Got my seam all stitched. I'm just going to give it one final press across, and you can see the back now where I think almost all of my seams are opposing. I might have had one like this one. I messed up. It happens. Just press it the best you can. So give that a good press. The stick is long enough that I can just kind of move it along as I go. Okay, so there's the front. All done. Now we're ready to put the back on.
It's so pretty.
Thanks. So to do the back, well, I'll also point out all of my edges, you don't see any fabric, you just see Battleizer because I did trim all my edges so I have batting within my seam allowance for the binding. So now to do the back, you'll just take a piece of fabric that's bigger than your piece and you'll put it wrong side to wrong side. Just make sure it's a little bit bigger. Get it smoothed out, and you'll see on this one that you can see like a shadow. So hopefully I won't confuse anybody, but I know yesterday we were talking about the edge to edge files for the mystery quilt. So what they are, it's for the back. So what you can do, which is completely up to you, the edge to edge files are included in the mystery quilt, is you can take, I used a piece of flannel, just a good quality flannel. I made sure I washed it first. Now I am not building my blocks in my hoop with flannel. I'm only using this for the back. I washed it, I dried it, so I made sure it shrunk. And then I take my backing fabric, put it right sides up over the flannel, and then we can do our edge to edge embroidery quilting designs on just these two pieces. And what I like about that is that now when I put these together, I no longer have that shadow. I can see a little bit of a mark there from just the seam, but I don't have that really bright shadow from my fabrics that I did here. So that is an option that you can choose to do. That is what the flannel is for, just to kind of give your back a little bit more interest than just a piece of fabric. So once we get these smoothed out together, you can put a few pins in it to hold it, or you can use a spray based if you prefer to do it that way. Then we will stitch in the ditch. I used a serpentine stitch and I stitched in the ditch between every block. And then I decided I wanted a little bit more quilting, so I went ahead and did straight stitch in the seams just to kind of hold it together a little bit more. And then this is your result. You don't really notice the serpentine stitch on the front. Do you see that? See that ever so slight little serpentine? When I stitched this, in the needle, I had monopoly thread, the superior monopoly thread, and in the bobbin, I had a white thread, or you can even use a pre-wound bobbin of the monopoly. And then you just stitch in the ditch, put your binding on, and you're finished.
Beautiful. So Lisa's, just to clarify, Lisa's saying, so you just quilt the backing and the flannel for the edge to edge.
Yes, yes, that's
Yes,
exactly
ma'am.
right.
You got it. Okay. So just a quick recap here. Keep the questions coming. They're coming. The comments on our end are flying, so it's hard to see them all, but we will get you answered. Just to recap everything we've talked about over the last couple of days, the pre-ordering is going on now. And Nina, if you would drop the order link, that would be awesome. So we highly encourage you to get your pre-order in. Our weekly file distribution and live classes are part of the, and like last year and the year before, I feel like we had a ton of people saying, is this a weekly cost? I don't know if I've seen that question yet, but no, this is a one-time cost and you get the weekly file distributions. Just a reminder, our fabric kits have sold out, but we are talking fabric tomorrow. And we do, in order to get the bonus, you do have to put the mystery quilt and the battleizer, or if you're outside the US, spend $127.99, which is what those two things would be to get the bonus. And then we do have the free hoop scissors minis shipping on every order over $149 while supplies last. They do apply. That does apply to Canada. You just have to pay the shipping, guys. At some point, it's like we're paying you to take it in Canada if we do too many and then do free shipping. But the scissors are available. If you hit that price point, you just have to pay the shipping. Now, if you're within the contiguous US and your order total hits $199, you're going to get the scissors, the free shipping, and you're going to get the 10% off if you got that bundle. Okay. So hopefully that explains it all. Well, no, and someone asked about, usually in the past years we've shipped USBs or CDs. It's just so few of you guys wanted that it turned out to be just some extra thing that we were doing that not a lot of people were taking advantage of. The download is so simple. If we have anything we want to add later, we can pop it in there, and it's always available in your account, which is really, really nice. Okay, this is up, so I don't forget to do this.
Aubrey?
Yes.
Aubrey? Can we answer a couple of questions I starred first?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to put our faces up here.
There we go. So Gloria said Yankee Quilter is an hour away or so, and she had a sad face. So, but Yankee, if you have a dealer and they have the affiliate,
yes,
you can still buy from them. So please take advantage of that.
So the affiliate, it's a little, once you do it, you'll totally understand what I'm about to say. But the affiliate link, you're still ultimately ordering on our website, but you're going to start with the shop and the link tracks it so that they can get some credit. Okay.
Right.
So you're still ultimately going to get the same deals, the same promotions, ordering from our website, same file distribution. So it's just giving them a little bit of credit, but it's ultimately coming through our website. Okay. All right. What else?
And the other question is, could I use Minky or Cuddle for the backing? Oh, that would be cool. Do it.
Like that. That sounds so soft.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do it.
And then the last question. Yeah, the last question is, the cutting chart did not tell how much backing fabric to buy. That's the fabric and thread key. And yes, you are right. We noticed that this morning, and we fixed it so you can go back and get it again. It's got the backing fabric in there. We missed that.
And thank you to Kathy Sellner, because she spotted that like a hawk. So if you go and go into your online files, you'll find it. It's also updated in the VIP group. So if you just get it again.
I also want to say within that fabric and thread key, the last 3 pages, I think, are the 3 colorways of the kits that we sold out of. So if you want to go shopping at your local quilt store and get similar colors, you can, I'm sure you can find them. They're tone on tones, they're batiks, you know, you can find something very similar if you were not able to get a kit. And we do like it if you can support the local quilt stores.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions that you see? Okay.
I starred those.
I starred some too because you were in there, and I thought I'll just star them if she wants to answer them, and you have time, you can. Because so Gloria, I would just look them up, Yankee Quilter, online or on Facebook. Get a hold of Cheryl, is her name. She will definitely help you out, and she'll know what to do. So just get a hold of her directly. Yep. Okay. So any other questions that you see you want to touch base on real quick?
Marilyn says, can you use thermore instead of flannel? I don't know what that is, Marilyn. So
try it on the bonus. See what you think.
For my back. So I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
I don't see anything else.
All right. I know, Lisa, I wish your local quilt shop was doing it too. And you can always call them and say, hey, did you know that you can just become affiliate and then do this? You never know what'll happen. So
Sandra says, please show edge to edge again on the bonus. If you're referring to the actual design, there is no edge to edge for the bonus. I was just describing for the mystery quilt that's included with the edge to edge how to do it, because we had some questions on that yesterday.
Which we will probably talk about in one of those weeks too. So we'll go into more detail then too. All right. Well, you keep looking for questions, but I did want to pull up kind of our schedule for the rest of the week again, just so you guys, if there's something that you definitely want to make sure that you see, you know what day it is. So tomorrow, you guys have some fun stuff coming up in groups. So don't share that yet. Don't let everyone know or see that yet. Tomorrow, Sarah and I will be live, and we are going to go through the fabric and thread key, talk about the number of fabrics you're going to want to be looking for if you didn't do a kit. And then we're also just going to have some suggested colors on top of the kit colors that Linda was talking about that are already in the fabric and thread key. So tomorrow is all about fabric. If you didn't get a kit or you're a little worried about fabric, join us at 2:00 Eastern tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. We do have a giveaway today for a mystery quilt. So make sure that you type the word mystery. That's our keyword for today. It enters you into the giveaway. Then Thursday, Nina, who has been behind the scenes for a little while when we're doing these things, is coming in front of the camera, and she's going to help us out. Thursday, we're going to talk about how it works. We're going to really show you how to, we're going to go into signing into your account, finding your weekly files so that you feel prepared and you know exactly what to do on May 29th when the files are available. So I think that'll be a really good one. And we're also going to do FAQs, answer customer service questions that maybe we see them flying through, maybe we didn't get to. We will talk about on Thursday as well. And then what are we doing Friday, Linda? You and me. Did she freeze or did I freeze? Let's see. I don't know if it's her or me. Let me try this. Linda, are you there? Okay, I think it's Linda. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. We'll just keep going. So Friday, Oh, is she back?
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay. I think it was you. Maybe it was me. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was
But we're
saying,
back.
what are we going to do Friday, Linda? And then it was like, we're going to prepare. So we're going to talk. Well, you tell them. What are we doing Friday? You and me.
Friday. You guys talk about fabric on Thursday. On Friday, I'm going to tell you what to do with the fabric once you get it. So there's a nice little cutting chart within your fabric and thread key. So we'll talk through that.
Okay, perfect. And then Friday is also kind of the last day to decide if you're going to be in that pre-order group that's getting the fun bonuses and all that stuff. You can order later if you're not ready yet, but you will miss out on the bonus, our free gift and things like that. So it's totally up to you. All right, so let's do the giveaway, guys. Are you ready? I know that's what you're waiting for. We are going to give our lucky winner from today one of our mystery quilts. So the mystery quilt download, you'll be on the list to get all the files for free. So here we go. Let's see. Joan, congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Miss Joan, I don't know if you ordered yesterday or not, but if you did, we're going to put this in the form of store credit in your account. So if you guys want to get your order in, don't let that stop you. Joan, you are going to want to reach out to Nina within the next 5 days and let her know that you're the winner. And let her know if you haven't got mystery quilt yet, we'll get you a mystery quilt. If you have, we'll put it in as store credit. Okay. So that's all we have for today. Congratulations. Look at that. I just think we have the best group of people. They're always so
Yeah.
sweet. Somebody wins.
Yeah.
So I just love it.
Very
Okay.
nice.
All right, Linda. We'll see you back here on Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And
we'll
everybody else, come back tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and we will keep talking through this. And we can't wait to see who else has decided to jump on board and become a mystery quilter with us. See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.